Hello everyone, myself Jeevita. Hope you're all doing great. In this video, I'm going to discuss about Python variables. Let's understand what are variables, how to define variables, and also let's understand what are the different rules we have to follow while defining our variables. Excited? Let's begin. Firstly, what are variables? Variables in Python are like containers used to store the data values. What if you want to store data in Python? In that case, variables plays a very important role. Now let's see how to create a variable. So as I told, variable basically acts like a container. Now what if I want to store a value inside a variable? How do you create it? Pretty simple. So I'm assigning a value 100 to a number that is a variable. Here, number is a variable, equal sign is an assignment operator, and 100 is basically a value. This is how we create a variable in order to store our data. Now let's see how to create a variable to store multiple values. What if I have multiple values? How do you assign those multiple values to a variable? Pretty simple. Just give your variable name like a numbers, which is equal to the list of numbers. When you have values more than one, in that case you have to put them either in a list or a tuple. So here numbers is a variable, equal is an assignment operator, and list of numbers is our values. So this is how we create variables to store single or multiple values. Hope it's clear. Now let's see what are the different rules that we have to follow while defining variables. The very first rule, variable name should start with either alphabets or underscore. Whenever you are defining variables, make sure you're gonna start that variable name with alphabets or underscore. For example, what if you want to store your value Python? In that case, you can define a variable something like course equals Python. Since Python is a text kind of data or a string, make sure you write that within either single quote or double quote. Next example, number equals 2000. So here my variable names are starting with alphabets. Similarly, you can also create your variables by starting it with underscore. Something like this, underscore value equals 10, underscore name equals Zara. This is the first rule. The second rule is variable name should not start with numbers, special characters and keywords. So whenever you are going to create a variable, make sure you're not starting that variable name with numbers, special characters and keywords. So let's see examples. So you're not supposed to start your variable with a numbers, something like this. 2 variable equals 10. This is a wrong way of defining your variable. You cannot even start something like this, 200 underscore value, which is equal to 1000. So this is a wrong way of defining variable. Number cannot be in a first position. So these are the special characters. Even when you are creating a variable, make sure you don't start your variable with special character. If you write something like percentage asterisk value equals 1000, this is a wrong way of writing or wrong way of defining variable. If you write something like this, at the rate underscore variable equals 10, even this is the wrong way of writing variable. So we have keywords in our Python such as while, class, define, except, from, break, true, false, and many more. These are the different keywords available in a Python. While creating a variable, you're not supposed to use these keywords in order to create a variable. If you write something like true equals 10, this is a wrong way of writing variables. If you give while equals 30 or class equals Python, you cannot use keywords in the place of variable name. So this is the second rule. Make sure whenever you are creating a variable, you're not supposed to start with numbers. You're not supposed to start with special characters and keywords. Third rule, variable name should contain only the alphanumeric and underscore. So whenever you are creating a variable, remember this rule. It should include only alphabets, numbers and underscores. So when I say alphabet, it can be something like this. Name equals Rida. It has only alphabets. When I say numbers, you're not supposed to start your variable name with a number, but your variable name can include number in any position except the first position. You can also create your variable with underscore, something like this. Underscore quotes equals data signs. And you can also create a variables by including all three combinations like alpha, numeric, and underscore, something like this. Year underscore 2024 equals 30. So this is how you can create a variable by including alphabets, numeric, and underscore. Remember, number can be in any position except at the start position. While the next rule, rule 4 is, variable name cannot include spaces and a special character. This is very important. When you are creating any variable name, make sure you don't include a spaces, something like this. So we have two words here, new and a value. You're not supposed to give space between two words. That's a wrong way of defining a variable. And a second thing, you're not supposed to include special character in a variable. If there is a special character in a variable, it throws an error. Hope it's clear. Similarly, value percentage 10 equals 30. So percentage is basically a special character. If you write special character anywhere in a variable name, it throws an error. Now let's see what is a rule 5. According to rule 5, variable name including multiple words should be separated by underscore. What if you are trying to create a variable with multiple values or multiple words? In that case, don't use a space, rather separate those words using underscore. So new underscore value equals 100 is the right way of defining variable when you have multiple words. Similarly, old age equals 50. You just have to use underscore when you want to separate the words. And the final rule, that is rule 6, basically tells us about, variable names are case sensitive. So you know what is case sensitive, right? So lowercase is completely different from the uppercase. They're not same. So we have three things here. My variable name first name is in lowercase. Second one, only the first letter is in capital. And in a third case, everything is in a capital letter. So all these three variables are different. So that's the case sensitive. So these are the 6 rules that you have to follow while defining variables. Hope it's clear. Now you might have a question, why Python variables? Variables are basically used to store, manipulate and reference throughout the project. We all know that it's used to store the data, you can manipulate and also you can reference whenever you want. By storing values in a variable, we can reuse it as many times and also in whatever way throughout a project. How many other times we want, we can reuse that variable to do our task. So finally, Python variable can include any data type such as numeric, string and a boolean. We know that variables are used to store a data and that data can be numeric, string and a boolean. Well, you have a task now. You have to guess the right way of defining variable. So is this the right way of defining variable? So we have number at the start position. Do you think this is the right way? No, right? This is the wrong way. Well, second one. Is this a right way of defining variable? No, because we have a special character. So it's a wrong way. Next one. Course name equals Python. Is this the right way of defining variable? No, because we have space in between two words. New underscore data1 equals 30. Is this the right way of defining variable? Yes, because we have alphabets, underscore and a number. This is the right way. So the final one, age at 24 equals 40. Is this the right way of defining variable? No, because we have special character. So this is how, you have to remember the rules while defining our variables. I hope things are clear regarding what are variables, how to define variables, and what are the rules that you have to follow while defining a variable. Hope it's clear. Thank you. Happy learning.